Bonjour tout le monde! Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. I hope you're doing amazing. I'm happy to see you today for another video, and for this week I'm going to change topic a little bit, and this is going to be mostly focusing on a specific topic so you guys can get ready to prepare for an exam, maybe a little more than just vocab. We're going to see something that might be super useful for you guys if you're in your French journey. So let's just start right off now, and we're going to start with this theme, which is ban zoos to protect animals. So the thematic of today will be, we're going to study everything related to the zoos, those animals, how to protect those animals, protéger les animaux. And do you guys think it's a good idea to ban zoos to protect the animals, or should we keep them? We're going to see everything that is related to like the positive aspects, the negative, how to explain your point of view in French, maybe a little more developed. So if you guys are practicing for an exam, you can use all of those little expressions depending on the theme and the subject, but this might be very useful. So let's just start right now. First, the question, ban zoos to protect animals. Let's start with la table des matières. What are we going to see? As usual, we're going to discuss les animaux, then les problèmes related to the zoos, then les arguments pour ou contre les zoos, meaning here the arguments that are for or against the zoos, and how to give your opinion depending on your level in French. Then what are, of course, the goals of this video? À la fin de la vidéo, les élèves peuvent parler des animaux, so you guys will be able to talk about animals, donner votre opinion, to tell me what you guys think, how to express your ideas and opinions in English, but mostly, of course, in French, and then to explain the reasons, tell me if you agree or disagree, and how to express in French, depending on your level. So we're going to adapt. Let's just start off with les zoos. In French, les zoos, the zoo. Tell me what you think about it. Pour vous, un zoo est? That is a question that I'm asking you guys. What would you consider a zoo to be? Is it un endroit qui protège les animaux? A place that protects animals? Un endroit où les animaux souffrent? A place where the animals suffer? Un endroit qui permet de découvrir les animaux? A place that allows people to discover animals? Or you don't really know? You might have different opinion, you might think multiple things. There's no good or bad answers. I just would like you to know what's your first idea when it comes to a zoo. Do you guys think it's like mostly positive or negative? Why? Now, when it comes to the vocab, basic vocab, we have un animal sauvage, which is not a savage, but a wild animal, which is an animal that lives in nature. So that is not like being in touch or in contact with human. Un animal qui vit dans la nature. Then we have une espèce. Une espèce is a species. Un groupe d'animaux similaires. Then une espèce en danger. Endangered animal. Un animal qui risque de disparaître. Disparaître. Espace fermé. An animal that lives in un animal domestique, that is the of un animal sauvage. Sauvage lives in nature. Domestique lives with human. Un animal qui vit avec les humains. Un animal sauvage, une espèce en danger, un animal en captivité et un animal domestique. Now, more vocab so that you can try to like extend your vocabulary when it comes to that topic. La captivité. Situation d'un animal qui n'est pas libre. Situation of an animal that is not free. Captivité. La maltraitance. Mauvais traitement envers un animal. You're not behaving and like comporting yourself in a nice way. You're treating the animal badly. Maltraitance. La disparition et tuer des animaux. Actions to look for. Then, la pollution. Similar as in English. Substance dangereuse qui dégrade l'environnement. That means that it's a dangerous substance that has, of course, bad effects on the earth. and the environment. And then we have le manque d'espace. Le manque d'espace, situation où un animal n'a pas assez de place pour vivre normalement. Situation where an animal doesn't have enough space to live normally. La captivité, la maltraitance, la disparition, la chasse, la pollution, le manque d'espace. You can use whatever the topic. When it comes to the verbs, to protect, protéger, empêcher un animal d'être en danger. Of course, you want to keep animals safe, so you want to protect them. Protéger. Sauver, sauver to rescue or to save. Aider un animal en danger. Then, préserver, to preserve, of course. Protéger pour garder quelque chose. Then, réintroduire, to reintroduce. Remettre un animal dans son environnement naturel. To bring back an animal in his natural habitat. Sensibiliser. Faire comprendre l'importance d'un problème. For example, like if I want to talk about all the animals and places that they need to live, and I want to make sure that the young generation can understand that, I'm going to sensibilize them. So I'm going to let them know everything that can happen so that they can learn how to act towards them and what's good or what's bad toward those animals. And then lutter contre, to fight against. Essayer d'arrêter un problème, to try to stop a problem or an issue. Lutter, to fight against something. Protéger, sauver, préserver, réintroduire, sensibiliser, lutter contre. Now, on to the arguments that are for the zoos. Why can they be positive? What's their good aspect? First, les zoos peuvent protéger les espèces en danger. They can protect endangered species. Certaines espèces peuvent être reproduites et protégées. With the zoo, depending on the species of the animal, next to the zoos, sometimes there's some animals that you will not be in real life, so it allows you to be more sensitive to it. You can see them in real life. If you're with kids, you might be able to show them wild animals that might be a little hard to see in their natural habitat, so that it can be a positive point. Then, faire de la recherche, to do some research. Les scientifiques peuvent mieux comprendre certaines espèces. By having some different species of animals in the zoo, scientifics, people working in the health, or they're doing some researches, they can work on that, see how the animal behave, so you can do a lot of studies on that. And last but not least, soigner les animaux. That means to heal the animals. For example, les zoos peuvent accueillir des animaux blessés. You can, working in a zoo, and rescue some animals that may be hurt, injured, and the goal is to help them. Argument, les zoos. Now have a look at the arguments against the zoos. Contre les zoos. Les zoos peuvent aussi poser des problèmes. Of course, there's some little issues with the zoo. Les animaux vivent en captivité. You know this one? Ils ont parfois moins d'espace que dans la They sometimes have less space than in nature. Of course, even if you take you would, for example, consider a big space for I don't know, it can be a giraffe or a lion. It's still a zoo, so you cannot go anywhere. And then, ils peuvent pas toujours avoir un comportement naturel. Comportement is behavior. So they cannot always have a natural behavior. Of course, it's not their natural habitat. So because they're not supposed to be there, they can act differently because of that. Certains animaux peuvent être stressés. Certain animals can be stressed. Of course, linked to everything that we just said. Les visiteurs peuvent déranger les animaux, meaning it's great and it's a great opportunity for kids to discover new animals, but those animals might be just wild animals and they're not supposed to be there. So your presence as a human might distract them and might bother them. You're not supposed to be close to them. This can also be a cons too. So here are the arguments against. Contre les zoos. Depending on that topic, if I'm telling you what's your point of view on that, should we keep the zoo or should we try to avoid it? What do you guys think? And you want to tell me what you think about that. depending on your level. If you're in level A2, you can say je pense que, I think that. Je trouve que, I find that. Je trouve que. À mon avis. Je suis contre. Now, let's move on to a B1 level. Je suis plutôt favorable à. Je suis plutôt opposé à. Je pense que les os devraient, with conditional, I think that is you should. Je ne suis pas d'accord avec, I disagree with. Je comprends cet argument, mais. I understand this argument, but. And now you're capable of saying what you guys think using those expressions for a level. And the last one, the B2, of course, a little more developed, a little more formal. Il me semble que. It seems to me that. On peut considérer que. We can consider that. Je suis partagé sur cette question. Like I'm in between two point of views for this question. I'm stating. Cet argument est intéressant. Cependant, this argument is interesting. However, and you can balance your opinion on that. Il ne faut pas qu'elle n'en a l'air. The question is more supposed to be. Here, basic vocab, easy expressions that you can write down, that you can use for your TEF or your TCF exam to express your point of view. If you now want to balance your opinion, you can say all of those little words, pretty easy to remember and super useful. Cependant, however, pourtant, en revanche, d'un côté, on the other, même si, bien que, il est vrai que, it is true that, mais, certes, indeed, cependant, however. All of those words, they're really I think if you want to try to explain exactly what you guys think about something, you cannot just say basic phrases. You have to balance your opinion using those little adverbs and words in your phrases that are super kind of short and easy to remember. So make sure you listen them all and you use them either when you speak or when you write. It's a very good way to balance your thoughts depending on the situation. Now, it's your time to practice, and I made you a little exercise where you have to tell me a little bit what you guys think about this use. Written production. You can just write a small phrase. You can try to write a little bit more. You can even try to write it up to 120 words if you want to practice. Your goal is to try to practice as much as you can on this topic with the vocab that we just saw and the little words to help you balance your thought. So, you have to tell me what you guys think about this phrase. Les zoos sont indispensables pour protéger les animaux. Zoos are a must to protect animals. Are you guys for this thing or are you guys against it? And what matters to me is why. Tell me exactly why you guys think that. You can give me examples. I want to know what you guys think and I want you to be able to explain it to me. So I would like you to give me your opinion. Donnez votre opinion. Give me two arguments. Présentez un exemple. Give me an example. You're saying that? Okay, example now. Présentez un argument contraire. I would like you to tell me one positive thing about the zoo and one thing negative. And I would like you to try to match and balance your opinion with the positive and the negative and some adverbs. And then a little conclusion. Good, easy, one phrase. And that is pretty much for today's video. I hope that you guys liked it. If you did, please don't forget to put a little thumbs up, little comment. Make sure that all of the vocabs that we just saw, you can keep it, you can write it down, you can practice it. They're here to help you fill up your phrases when you speak or when you write. So they're super useful. So yeah, I hope that it was helpful for you. I'm wishing you all a good end of your week and I'm seeing you next week for another video. Salut!